Your client opens with a single sentence. AI is just autocomplete for people who can't code. In the time it took to say that, they told you something, and it wasn't about a tool. They handed down a verdict about the kind of person who uses one. This is the practical payoff of Module 4's framework. We're going to make those 5 layers audible, so you can hear which one is active before you've wasted 20 minutes. Look at that opening sentence again. The subject is people who use AI, not the technology. The claim is about character. Can't code. That's layer 1. Threat response. And here's the part coaches miss. Your job is not to correct the claim. Jump in with what AI can or can't do, and you've taken the bait. In Module 4, we mapped 5 layers and established that rational argument only reaches layer 3. Now we make that map something you can hear. Not what the layers are, but what they sound like. Layer 1 sounds like a person defending who they are. Listen for the self at the center of every sentence. I'm not a prompt engineer. I spent years building this skill. The argument is about identity and professional standing, not about capability. 2 other tells. Categorical dismissal, the whole category written off before a single tool gets tried. And moral judgment about AI users. They're cutting corners. It's lazy work. The loudest signal is intensity out of proportion to the claim. When the heat doesn't match the topic isn't it. Layer 2 sounds different. The client isn't defending an identity, they're reporting an experience. I gave it a month. 2 weeks were wasted. It doesn't work for what I actually do. Their experience is genuine. Something happened and it landed as failure. If you dismiss that, you lose the room. But the conclusion was drawn from the wrong window. In layer 2, the evaluation happened. It just ran on the wrong timescale, the wrong task, or the wrong tool. The client doesn't know that yet. Layer 3 sounds like evidence. Benchmarks, error rates, cost-benefit math, domain constraints. The ROI doesn't hold at our scale. This is the only layer where better information actually moves anything. So you need a test. Ask the client, what evidence would change your mind? A genuine skeptic can name it. A threat response wearing layer 3 language cannot. You're not testing whether the client is right. You're testing whether evidence is the currency they're working in. Layers 4 and 5 move the subject again, this time to the system. Layer 4, structural constraint. The client is willing. The system can't absorb it. I would, but we're mid-release. My team can't lose 2 weeks of output. That sounds rational, but listen closely. It's about capacity, not capability. They're not saying AI doesn't work. They're saying they can't afford to find out. Layer 5, culture tax, stated values contradicted by measurement. We encourage innovation, said by the leader whose dashboard flags any output dip within a week. Listen for the value paired with a metric that punishes it. One question ties all 5 together. Before you choose any move, ask it, what is the client actually talking about? Talking about AI, capabilities, limits, benchmarks. That's layer 3. Talking about themselves, identity, experience, what this makes them. That's layers 1 or 2. Talking about their system, bandwidth, culture, measurement. That's layers 4 or 5. The subject of the sentence is the layer. You don't need a full diagnostic before your first step. You need to hear who or what is at the center of the language. One calibration before you apply any of this. Resistance looks different depending on what the client can move. An individual contributor controls their own evaluation, their time, their workflow, their willingness to run an experiment. A mid-level leader controls a team's runway, pacing, permission, the safety to try. A senior leader controls the system itself, measurement, incentives, structural capacity. You coach toward the leverage the client actually has. Coach an individual contributor toward system change, and you've set them up for frustration. The depth on each level lives in optional module 8. For now, one question added to your diagnostic. What does this person control? Now apply it. Your client says, AI is just autocomplete for people who can't code. Which layer? What's your first move? Decide before you read on. Now, same client, 10 minutes later. My org wants everyone on AI by Q3 and I don't have the bandwidth to learn this. Did you catch the shift? The first sentence was layer 1, identity. The second is layer 4, structural constraint. Same person, two different moves. The shift isn't a contradiction. It's information about what's underneath the original verdict. Two mistakes to guard against. The first, locking onto the layer the client presents first. The opening layer is often the comfortable one, not the active one. The second, treating the diagnostic as a one-time read. Layers shift mid-conversation. You read continuously, not once, so you can read the layer. Now the question is what you do with it. The three coaching moves that follow work differently on different layers, and the one that works on threat response is the one coaches most often skip. That's next.